Thank you for joining us for David Urey's Spring Planning Meeting. The meeting has three purposes. We want to provide an opportunity for all stakeholders to participate in reflection and discussion. The feedback we receive through this meeting will be used as we develop our goals and Title I budget for next year. We want to make sure we're spending our funds in a way that is promoting success for all students. Because discussion around our Title I funding is a big part of this meeting, we want to make sure we all have a common understanding of Title I. Title I is the largest federally funded program in public schools. The amount of funds that are received are based on the number of students receiving free or reduced lunch. David Urey is a Title I school-wide program, which means the funds we receive are used to help all students receive a high-quality education. These funds are supplemental. This is funding we receive in addition to the determined Rutherford County Schools budget and must be spent on supplemental things. As a Title I school, we have a responsibility to provide opportunities for all students to meet challenging state academic standards. We do this by focusing on methods and practices that will strengthen academics and increase the quality of learning time. We want to make sure all students are receiving a well-rounded education and that we're addressing the needs of our students that are at risk. Now that we understand our purpose for today, let's take a look at where we began this year. We're going to look at our goals that were set for this year and how we used our Title I funds to help achieve these goals. Our data from last school year guided us in developing goals for this year. These goals typically revolve around four areas. Let's look at the English Language Arts, or ELA, and math data first. This data is reported in achievement and growth, which are two very different measurements. Achievement is the percentage of students who achieve a particular score or proficiency level on their TCAP assessments. Last year, David Urey had 22% of students in ELA and math show proficiency, both of which are slight increases from the previous year. Growth is how much progress students made in a year and is expressed in levels from 1 to 5. When students meet the amount of growth that is expected, it is considered a level 3. Students that exceed the expected amount of growth can earn a level 4 or 5. Those that do not meet their expected growth will earn a level 1 or 2. Unfortunately, our growth score dropped this year, which has been a major focus for this year in our goals. The third area for data is teacher retention and performance. We're very proud of our teacher retention at 90.6% and hope to see that continue this year. We also have over 71% of our teachers with a level of effectiveness of 3 or higher. The state uses lesson observations and students' test scores to provide teachers with their level of effectiveness, which is also done with a scale of 1 to 5. Level 3 means that a teacher is meeting expectations and his or her students are showing expected growth. Because this effect score is based largely on TCAP scores, this percentage is a reflection of the decline in scores we just discussed. So again, an area for improvement. The fourth area of data includes anything that gives us an idea about students' participation or ability to participate in their education. Indicators used for this may be absentee rates, behavior data, or student health information. Last year, our chronic absenteeism was 15.1%. This is the percent of students that had excessive absences for the year. You want this number to be as low as possible. So using this data, we have 4 big goals for this year. Increase our ELA and math achievement and growth, especially growth. We want to make sure that we are recruiting, continuing to retain, and train effective teachers. And we want to make sure we're implementing strategies to ensure all students receive a well-rounded education and have the opportunity to learn in a safe and healthy environment. With these goals in mind, we developed a budget for our Title I allocation for this year. which was $544,320. 86% of that budget was used for supplemental staff, which we'll look at more in depth in a moment. And the remaining 14% was used for materials, training, and parent engagement. We fund 5 staff positions with our Title I funds, in addition to the 4 noted positions provided by Rutherford County Schools. These positions help us to provide more academic interventions for at-risk students. Currently, we are serving 137 students for academic interventions. Instructional coaches provide supports in various ways throughout the building, such as helping teachers use data to plan appropriate instruction, providing resources for teachers, leading professional development, and supporting new teachers. All of our classrooms are equipped with interactive ViewSonic boards, and we needed to purchase an additional one to accommodate our classrooms this year. We also purchased some laptops and charging stations to replace some outdated technology. We invest quite a bit in supplemental technology programs. Raz Kids and Generation Genius Math support teachers in planning classroom instruction. Imagine Math Facts support students in becoming fluent with their math facts. We also provide some resources for our interventions and grade level teams in supporting students' individual needs, such as the phonics supports and data folder supplies shown here. Again this year, our staff development funds were focused on strengthening our professional learning communities, also known as PLCs. PLCs are collaborative teams focused on student learning. We sent a large group last year and another group this year, so that we can continue to develop a strong foundation for these teacher-led teams. Our faculty has also participated in other staff development noted here. While Title I funds weren't needed for these trainings, each of them supported our goals and Rutherford County Schools initiatives. We've offered a variety of parent trainings this year, as shown here on the screen. We've tried to get creative with scheduling and offering them at times that coincide with other activities, such as parent conferences and PTO meetings. Now that we've reviewed our goals and spending for this year, let's go over some reflection for the year so far to see how it's going. We obviously don't have TCAP data yet to use for planning, but we can begin to reflect using other data, such as our universal screener and district benchmark data. All students are given screeners 3 times per year to assess basic reading and math skills. This chart tracks the percentage of our students that scored at or above grade level last year compared to this year on the math assessment. We have to keep in mind that our math screener changed this year, so we're comparing 2 different assessments. But it still gives us a good indication that students have shown growth in math across the year. This graph shows the same data on the universal screener, but with basic reading skills. We're tracking how students did last year compared to this year on the reading universal screener. And again, most of our grade levels did show some amount of growth. These charts show us the average score on the Rutherford County Benchmark Assessment. This is last spring's assessment compared with this spring's assessment. Math scores are on the left, English language arts scores are on the right. After reviewing each of these pieces of data, we see growth in most areas this year. 2 areas that we may want to reflect on for improvement are 5th grade math and basic reading skills in our lower grades. All of our teams met to discuss strategies and resources they feel should be continued and to suggest additional ideas for next year. Our supplemental staff, technology programs, and PLC work were noted as things to continue. Some suggestions for next year include adding additional staff, some behavior management and phonics trainings, and there were several ideas noted for materials we may want to consider that include science and English language arts resources. We also surveyed parents. While we did not get a large response, here's a summary of the results. Parents were asked to rank a series of statements on a scale of 1 to 5. We ranked high on communication, providing assistance, and providing a safe and welcoming environment. For next year, we want to try to improve participation in parent trainings and find new ways to encourage families to be involved. Thank you for taking some time to participate in our spring planning meeting for this year. If you have any questions or concerns, you can email me at the email address shown on the screen. We would also appreciate you taking a couple of minutes to complete a short survey. You can use the QR code to access the survey. There's also a link in the video description. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.